young artists, if you enjoy Draw and Paint What You Regret on YouTube and you would like to show your support, you can find Cash App and Venmo information below. This channel is free to watch and learn from. If you like any of my art products, please go to mpbimage.com to purchase. If you purchase, make sure you leave a comment so my product maker know that you've purchased from the YouTube link. Hey young artists, I am back with another abstract demo. So this summer I am teaching abstract figure drawing, and if you are watching any of my abstract drawing videos, you definitely would know the whole process of how these videos go. So I'm going to start real quick and just hop right into it. I want to talk about our first assignment for this class. So the first assignment that we're going to do is figure in line, or figure as line. So to start with, my students, they are going to choose whether they want to do non-objective art or abstract art. So the difference between the two, if you don't know, is non-objective art is the opposite of representational art. So typically when we look at this type of art, we don't really have a clear idea of what it is because we can't really attach it to anything in our 3D world. Then we have abstract art. So abstract art, typically we understand what we're seeing with abstract art because really artists are just distorting what we do see in reality, but it's just a distortion of what we're seeing. Then when it comes to this assignment, the theme. So our theme is figure as line. So my students have to stay within this idea of using line to draw out their figure. So elements of art, we're focusing on line, but students do have the option to do shape or form with line. Then principles of design. So I'm choosing, because my students have the option of choosing their principle of design, I'm choosing variety. So I want to use a variety of line, and I also want to have rhythm. So I want my lines to have some type of rhythm line that I'm using in conjunction with variety and rhythm. Then color schemes. So my students do have an option of doing color schemes, but I decided that I just wanted to deal with black ink just to make the process a little bit faster for the demo. Then we have materials. So I'm using watercolor markers or ink pens. So I'm deciding to use this material because once again, for the demo, it actually does move a little bit faster for me. But students have the option of any materials that they want to use. My reference is ballerina. So a lot of my students in this class, some students are A-okay with a new photo that they want to work from. And then some students are just kind of like, I don't want to deal with that type of reference. So my students will have the option of using new photos or just actual photos. That would definitely help. So the reason why I went with ballerina is because typically what they have on is a little bit minimalistic, and you're still able to see the lines in their form through their overall outfit. So that's one of the reasons why I did choose it, as well as they know how to manipulate and distort their bodies in certain ways that we don't typically see in the real world because they are dancers. So what you guys definitely do know is that in these classes I do my best to talk about paper format. So paper format does not necessarily have to be a rectangle shape or a square shape. It could be a circle shape. It could be a triangle shape, diamond shape. It really, whatever floats your boat when it comes to your paper format shape. But you want to think about it because you want to make sure that whatever you're designing within this paper format, it makes sense to what you are trying to do. So your paper format does play a part. Another thing, I do want to talk a little bit about economy of line. So my students do get a handout. I just want to kind of quickly get to just different line types. So you want to think about economy of lines. So having straight lines, wavy lines, dotted lines, zigzag lines, dashes, scalloped, hash lines, so on and so forth. And you want to think about thick and thin, dark and light. These economy of lines definitely help with making sure that your artwork looks very interesting to the actual viewer. So the more that we are, how would you say, the more that we give contrast in our work, the more attention that work is going to, is going to call some type of attention from a viewer to your actual artwork. I always tell my students, human beings, I don't know what it is, they absolutely love contrast. So opposites are always very attractive to a viewer or a patron or a person just in general. So you just want to make sure that you are thinking about economy of line when you're doing this actual artwork. So when it comes to my artwork, I did a bit of a non-objective, to the best of my ability, figure, and then I moved into more of a gestured figure, which I really like. And then I tried to maneuver between the two, if that makes sense. So I did my best to do that to the best of my ability. So when I'm thinking about variety of line, I don't have much variety. I do have some squiggly lines, and I do have some dash lines, and I do have some actual lines. Here I moved into some thick and thin lines that are more squiggly, some dashed. And then here's kind of one line type, which is kind of just curved and squiggly. I did my best to make sure I'm staying within rhythm. I think I have a little bit more rhythm, more so in these two versus here, but you could definitely say that this is more so of a irregular rhythm that's there. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what this assignment is. That way, if I have a student that is working from home or working from the video, they know exactly what they need to do when it comes to this assignment. So enough when it comes to the intro. I'm going to move into the demo, and then I'll see you guys in the next clip. Bye. Hey, young artists. So really quick, I do want to talk about my materials. I am using mixed media drawing paper, and I'm also our heavyweight paper. I'm also using watercolor markers, but this is the watercolor brush pen. And I'm also using just a regular ink pen, and this is the King Art brand of ink pen. So I do have different nibs that I'm probably going to be playing around with to get different brush strokes and different strokes in general. So just FYI, I just wanted to break in really quick and just talk about my materials. I did put a 1-inch border around, not 1 inch, half an inch border around my paper. So with that being said, that way you have an idea of what materials I am using. Once again, I'm keeping it very simple to the best of my ability, just to make the demo move a little bit faster. So I'm going to get quiet, and I'm going to go ahead and start the demo.